you're at that point that you are thinking about stepping out, stepping away from a company that provides curriculum for you and going more independent, this is the video for you. I have a confession to make. I am not well organized and I'm a chronic procrastinator. I'm a chronic procrastinator. And these two vices threatened to stop my career as an independent online ESL teacher in its tracks. When I first started teaching ESL independently using the Amazing Talker platform, I was spending hours every day trying to figure out what I was going to teach my students for the following day. I would be pouring through websites, creating Google slide presentations, and then when I got frustrated with working on those lessons, I would pivot and go a different direction. Doing this left my lessons with my students feeling very disjointed and confusing for me and for my students as well. And that is when I decided it was time to cut myself some slack and get some help. Now I'm a year and a half into my career teaching ESL on the Amazing Talker platform, and I have whittled down my time spent outside the classroom to very, very bare minimum. I don't spend time creating lesson plans anymore because I invested in something that worked well for me. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 options for 3 different budgets. Keep in mind that what budget you choose will affect the amount of time needed to prepare for your lesson. So let's get started. The first curriculum is 100% free. And these materials are what my son's school uses. Let's take a look. Okay, so the website is coreknowledge.com. You can freely look through this website and explore all the things that there are to offer. I'm just going to show you a few tips to make teaching easy if you decide to use this curriculum. I'm going to pick a level. I'm going to go to a grade 1 level. Okay, so you see I filter by grade 1. I'm going to go ahead and filter by language arts. You can easily do science or history and geography if that's what you choose to do and that's appropriate for your student. For me, I'm doing language arts because it includes phonics. I'm scrolling down to the language arts skills. I'm going to click here to open up this segment of the curriculum. And as I scroll down, you can see that there is a downloadable teacher guide. There's a downloadable student workbook. There's a downloadable student reader. There's a downloadable big book. There's also a downloadable assessment and remediation guide for this unit. This is great for ESL learners because it's going to make things a little bit simpler for your students. So you are free to download this, to read through it, and follow those directions. When I first started teaching independently at Amazing Talker, I just used these materials and I created Google Slides. It took me a lot of time, but I've learned some tricks since then, and I'm going to show those to you now. So I'm going to start with the student reader, and I'm going to click to open it. I'm going to open this link in a new tab. So there I have my student reader downloaded. You can see that this reader is set up 1 page at a time. When I'm sharing my screen with my student, I would rather have the pages side by side rather than top to bottom. So here's what you can do. Click the print and save it as a PDF. And here you have the option of changing it to 2 pages per sheet. So I change it to 2, and then I'm just going to scroll down to check to make sure they line up properly, that the pictures are correct with the words. They are not correct with the words. So what I need to do is, I'm going to go to Custom, and I'm going to select page 1 because that's the main page, and then I'm going to skip page 2 and then go 3 to 100. Okay, and now let me check it and see if that looks better. It does. So here we have I am Beth, and there's the picture of Beth. So the pictures are all lined up correctly now. So I can save this, save it as a PDF, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to open up the student workbook. Okay, so I want to download the free PDF version. Here it is. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make sure that we have 2 pages per sheet, and we're going to call it Snapshots Workbook. Now, what I'm going to do is go to my Google Drive. Here are my PPTs. I'm just going to create a folder with, I'm going to call it Level 1 Readers. Okay, create. There we go, Level 1 Readers. Open this, click New, and I'm going to add a file. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to add my snapshots, and then I'm going to add the Snapshots Workbook right here. Okay, now what I can do is open up my snapshots, and I can scroll down. This one's the reader. Oh no, this one's the workbook. If I click this little arrow to the right, that's going to go ahead and open up the reader for me. So I have that here as well. Here we go. When I'm sharing my screen, my student can see the picture and the words there together, and then I can toggle back and forth. Oh, I can't when it's zoomed in. I can toggle back and forth when it's not zoomed in between the reader and the workbook. There is a function in the Zoom that you can share a portion of the screen. I'm going to just have this square. I would open this portion to share with my students so they can see this part, though I'm showing you everything so you can see what I'm doing. The student would only be able to see what's in the green, and then I can click this button to the side to switch back over to the reader. And we can go through the reader. I would have the student read the story. We would talk about the pictures that are in the story. We would correct any words, talk about any vocabulary that the student doesn't understand, and then toggle back. From the reader of Beth, we can come here and then discuss the answers to these questions. So when you're first starting out doing this, you probably will have to put in a little more energy and effort to learn kind of the process. But then once you've got it, you've got the hang of it, your prep time will reduce drastically. So that's option number 1. Perfectly free core knowledge. You can go through that, delve through that material, and find what works for you and your student. Takes a little more time, but it's free. If you're ready to invest maybe a little more money into your classes and take a little more work off of your hands and have content that's better designed for using online, I have another option for you. This one is a set of curriculum from the DK Publishing Group for ESL. And all of these lessons, called English for Everyone, are $10 or less for the Kindle version. And the reason the Kindle version is a great version to use is you will have the option to view it right here on your Kindle Cloud Reader. It's easy to get to. I have this one is just a sample that was free on Amazon. I will link the links to these, the Amazon purchases for all of these books down below. So English for Everyone. This one is an adult English vocabulary builder, but I just wanted to give you an idea because you could be teaching anyone, as far as I know. And in this lesson, you can share it with your student just like this while you are in class. And there are 78 units in this book. That's at least 78 classes. You could probably even get 2 or 3 classes out of one unit and stretch it out forever. So this is a great material also because of this reason. Right here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. I can't zoom in. I was just kidding. I'm not going to zoom in. But if you look, let me get my my little annotation tool and mark it. If you look right down here, there's a free audio website and app, which you just have to create an account to use. There we go. And so this gives us the audio for all of the books. And you can see here all of the adult level books here. Okay. When you're sharing your screen with your students and you want them to be able to hear something in Zoom, make sure you also share your computer sound so they can hear it. If you use the English for Everyone Junior, there's also the audio for this book. It has at the beginning kind of an explanation of what the content is like in each chapter and page. There aren't as many chapters or units in the junior book. There are 26. I could definitely get 2 lessons out of each chapter. I could probably get 3 lessons out of each chapter because I'm very good at extending the material and getting my students talking a little bit more. Your student can download the app for free, and then they can listen to the audios at home to review and practice. That can be their homework. That's really cool. All right, so here we go. Here's page 1. And I'm going to start playing here, and then I'm going to go back so you can hear it and look at it at the same time.
My friends. Hello, I'm Maria. What's your name?
Hello, I'm Ben.
So after listening to the audio, we can talk about this picture. What do you see? Where are the children? We can have so much conversation from this one slide because there's so many things going on here. This is $10. $10. It's awesome. Okay, so you can just continue on. After you finish the one slide, you move down to the next one. You can again here use that same screen share that I showed you where you can share a portion of your screen if you don't want the student to be able to see everything. Here you can whittle it down. If you don't want to whittle it down, another good option that I sometimes do is use the Zoom tools to just create a big block over the things that I don't want my student to try doing yet. And then I can use my select tool and just move that block over here so that now we can see the next thing. We can just kind of move them around that way. Okay, so English for Everyone is option 2, and every one of the books are less than $10. So you could easily spend $7 to $10 to get this book on the Kindle version, share your screen, get the free audio, get the free app to share with your student, and have 30 plus lessons, if not a lot more than that, from this curriculum. I love English for Everyone. And then the final option is the one that I chose for myself when I was first starting. It was a little bit pricier. I didn't know about these other options. I didn't know about the options of English for Everyone when I purchased what I did, but I'm still glad that I did make this decision because it simplified my life so much. It was worth the money that I spent. I was spending more time after my classes enjoying my life. I felt like I was able to teach more classes because everything was already prepared for me and I didn't have to think about what this student was doing and what that student was doing. I can literally log in and within a few clicks have all the information I need at my fingertips to teach my students, almost exactly like using VIP Kid or GoGo Kid classrooms. Okay, this one is from Macmillan Education Everywhere. Happy Campers is what I'm going to talk to you about today. I started with my Happy Campers level 1. And here you can see that there's a student book and a language lodge book. So the language lodge is more like the workbook. The student book is more like the teaching book. And if I click this little arrow to open it up, you can see that there are 8 units in the book and each unit has 8 lessons. That's 64 lessons easily. Just to give you an idea of what this looks like for your students, I generally start with lesson 3. I don't often use these tools because just using the Zoom classroom tools are easier. And then down at the bottom, you see a few other icons. If I click this little eye, this is going to show me my lesson flashcards, which we can go through. We can show the text. We can listen
cat
to the word. We go through our flashcards. This is the first thing I do. There's also a little video that will show
vocabulary.
Then there's another song that goes around along with this story. So we do lesson 1 is 1 and 2, and then number 3 is the language lodge. To get to the language lodge, you just click down here at the bottom and it takes you over to a worksheet where you can have your student practice writing, spelling the vocabulary. Okay, and then to get back to the student book, we'll just click back over here. We're on unit 3, and then lesson 3 is a video, and then again it's practice spelling some new vocabulary. Then lesson 5 is always going to be a simple story to read and then answer the questions. When you buy the Happy Campers teacher books, you get a book like this, and it has all of the lessons and teacher tips of what to do for each of the lessons. I used the book at the beginning, but then once I got the hang of how the lessons went, I rely on the books less and less, and I very rarely look at them now. Inside the book, there's a code that you can type right in to the Macmillan app or the Macmillan website so that you get all these materials on your computer that you can share with your students. All right, so Happy Campers, that is option number 3, and it is the most expensive option, but it takes more pressure off you than any of the others do. I started with just 1 level of Happy Campers, and then when I was ready to add another level, I added the 2nd level. And then when I was ready again, I just bought all of the levels all at once so that I would have them. All right, so those are the three options for teaching. What do you think? Which one would you choose to use? Would you choose the 0 budget? Would you choose the $10 budget? The Happy Campers is more like $50. That's on Amazon. All right, guys, I hope that was helpful. Check for those links down below. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video, let me know. Oh, that's so loud. Someone's at my door. All right. See you next time. Bye.